Hi guys, I'm LadyLazyPup and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a speed build for you. It is a motel turned rental. It ends up having 8 rental apartments and actually a lot of space for communal activities. I was super excited with how this one turned out. I was inspired by a picture I found on Pinterest of a mid-century motel that had an orange door for one of the motel rooms and a blue door for another one of the motel rooms. And I went, yeah, I want to build this. I saw this and I don't even think I had any more pictures except for the one head-on shot of the motel. And it was these doors, these exact doors. And I was like, I have to build this because then every other door was orange and the other ones were blue. And I was like, this is so much fun. I have to do it. So here we are. I started off with working on the main look of the front of the build. I wasn't sure how big I really wanted the rooms, quote unquote, to be, but I did have an idea of what I wanted the building to overall look like. I wanted it to have that look that you might see in movies or in shows or even in real life, where the motel actually has the room doors on the outside and you walk in that way instead of having it like a hotel where you'd go inside and there's hallways to get to each room. So I actually started off thinking, okay, here's my rectangle and it's just going to be these 8 right here. And that bottom one I did smoosh together and make it really large. And I figured that's where you would go in to technically check in, and there would be vending machines and there'd be a little sitting area and all of that kind of stuff in a regular motel. So I figured that would be definitely the communal space for our people here. But then I was like, this is kind of boring. I don't like that it's just a rectangle. So I did give it an L shape by creating a second building next to this one, but turn the other way. So it's the same shape, it's the same look and feel of the other building, but it's just turned. And these rooms are, I believe, a little bit longer than the ones in the front. So they do actually have a bit more space. But I did keep it all the same nice flat roofing. I even lifted that up to kind of give it a thickness. And then there's that balcony that you walk to get to each apartment. I wanted to make sure that there was a good amount of communal space, so I even put a pool that kind of is inside of that framing of the buildings there. And then we add a few more little details later on where they can have a little field to play in, or there's going to be a little basketball court in the back. I wasn't going to use a ton of packs in this. This is my plan. I just wanted to use the base game and get famous because of the items that are in it. Then I realized, oh hey, bowling stuff pack actually has some really good stuff for this too, and so I added that one on. And then I figured out, oh, if we do want a basketball court, we want stuff like that, I'm going to have to add on city living. So I added on city living, and then last but not least, I did add on university because I wanted a mini fridge. Yep. So there's not a ton of stuff from every pack, but it's still actually less packs than you'd kind of expect. I do love the blue stone for the outside of the hotel. It's perfect. I love that color. I love how it looked. And then each of these little square areas that I built on the ends of the building and between the two buildings, those are all stairwells. You can't have elevators in The Sims, unfortunately. I kind of wish they would have added elevators, but they haven't yet. So I just made 3 stairwells to get to each apartment, which I think works out kind of nice. So if you have one of the back apartments or if you have one of these side apartments, you can have your Sim use that, stairwell to get there instead of having to walk up from one side of the building and then go all the way to the other end. I mean, they might do it anyways. Who knows? It's The Sims. And then I added on some balconies to the back of each apartment. The ones that are on the second story, they each get an actual balcony. And then I didn't really give the bottom story one just because it does kind of walk straight out to that pool area. So I didn't really give them a door and a balcony or a little patio area on the back of theirs, which I think, also kind of gives a variety to each apartment's price, which is really fun and nice. And especially if you're going to play in this as the person who owns the whole complex, then you kind of have different stuff to work with and different Sims that could live there. This is where you can see I did actually make those side ones a lot deeper. So you actually have a lot more space on those side ones too. So while I'm adding a little bit of detail here on the outside, you're probably thinking, oh my God, there's way more apartments than what you were saying originally. You said there was only 8. And that's because I did decide that some of the motel rooms needed to be pushed together to make larger apartments. So the upstairs apartments in this front building are 2 motel rooms put together each. And then in the side building, they actually have an upstairs and a downstairs in 2 of those apartments, which is actually kind of fun. So they have a couple of different entrances to their apartments. We moved on now to the communal area inside of the building. That large area I showed you on the bottom left side. So this is going to be a place where they can all actually access and use the space. So I decided on a little exercise area with just like the basics. You get a punching bag, you get a weightlifting machine, and you get a treadmill. That's it. But it's all useful for anybody that's in the apartment, which is kind of fun. So anybody can come down and use that. And then in this room next door, we end up putting in a laundry, which now that I think about it, I also have laundry days. So also add that onto my list of packs that I used. But they all can use this, and actually is usable by Sims that you aren't playing that are also living in these apartments, which I think is really cool. Now, you will have to add in the hamper, because I did forget to put hampers in each one of these apartment buildings. And once they have a hamper, then they actually can come down and do their laundry. I really like that. I think it's fun, and it feels a bit more realistic that there's actually like a little laundry area for everybody to come down and use that's communal. So I was trying to figure out, okay, do I want to have like a front desk area over here? And I was kind of playing around with that. The idea was there, and I liked what it was turning into, but I wasn't a huge fan of like those shelves in the background. And I was like, well, maybe it should actually just be an area where they could use a computer. So we do turn it into that. Over on this side, we made a little coffee bar. Look, in my head, I'm like, if this is going to be kind of like a motel hotel, like turned into a rental, I feel like having a nice little kitchenette / like just a coffee bar over in this corner, perfect place to have it. Something that I feel like the owner would be like, yeah, we're keeping this for my residents. And this is where I end up using that mini fridge. I did make this on stream. I stream over on Twitch, and sometimes we do some Sims building and some Sims gameplay, so feel free to come join us over there. But it was actually my Twitch stream's idea to put the little mini fridge, because they thought that the large fridge looked a little too much in that area. And I agreed. I was like, it does feel like here I'm giving you an actual kitchen. So the mini fridge made a little bit more sense for like that little kitchenette idea. Now you saw where I actually put the computer more in the corner. That felt way better to me. So it's like a little computer that everybody can use. And then there's going to be that small bathroom. And then right behind that is the laundry area. And I wanted there to be a few things of laundry, not just like one. So I did end up putting in 3 pairings of the washer and drying machines. And I'm hoping that's enough for, 8 apartments. But there should be enough there for you to come down and hopefully have an open machine to do your laundry with your sim. So then we just kind of like added a few little details here. I love the fact that there is a way for all of the Sims to actually have like a communal space and use the items there. I like that. So this, I felt like this was one of the big reasons I wanted to do this build, is like, I want to have an apartment with this like full laundry area. This wasn't the whole inspiration, but I did love the idea of having this in the communal space. So even like some stuff that you could use to clean up, we have on the side over here. I will also admit, I did build this. Well, I did start building this before the For Rent pack came out. And it was actually kind of fun, because by the time I got the pack, I was like, okay, now I can finish the build and we can play with it. We can kind of like test it out and bring somebody in here and make all of the apartments actual apartments and see how much they were. I liked doing that part because I liked getting to see how much each apartment was worth in the end, especially since I wanted there to be a variety where we had like the 1 bedroom, we had the multi-bedroom, and all of that kind of stuff. And I even think at the end of this, I'll give you guys a little bit of a tour so you're not like missing anything, because there's a lot being built. So it could get a little overwhelming, and we might miss some stuff. I might have cut some stuff out that I didn't feel like necessary for us to see. So I'll make sure that we give a little bit of a tour so you can see everything at the end. And you know what? Right now, put how much you think this entire motel is going to be worth at the end. I'm curious. What do you guys think it's going to be worth? And then see if you're right. Because it's going to be 8 apartments, full apartments, with everything you'd need for a home in The Sims. I will tell you it's not too bad, but it's not going to be like the first thing that your sim buys to rent out to other Sims. It's more expensive than that. Unless maybe they came into money and maybe they're buying this place and it has literally nothing in it. And then you're starting from like scratch. Maybe then it would be more affordable for them. But even then, I'm wondering if the shell is a bit more expensive than something that like a starter would be able to afford. So now this area in front of the coffee bar, we do have like a nice little seating spot. And I did really want to just eat straight into that mid-century modern look. So I have like all of these colors. I'm using a lot of the furniture from Get Famous. And I don't know, I really like how it was turning out. It felt kind of cozy. It felt like they were just like, yeah, this is the theme because this is when this motel was originally built. Maybe we have some of the original furniture. Maybe they just like dolled it up a little bit, made it nice. But I like that they kind of went with that as a nice theme here. But again, it's a great place for your Sims to come together, hang out, make some coffee. You know, you can get to know your neighbors or you can get to know your tenants in this very room. I think it's kind of nice. And considering I used the blue and the orange doors, you know, I felt like that had to be the main color of the community space. It was all that inspiration, and I had to just bring it out in the best of places, right? So now we're just kind of cluttering up the area and just making it feel a little bit more homey, a bit more cozy for our lovely tenants. I figured for the pool area, I didn't really want to clutter it up too much, but I was so excited that I got to use these loungers because they look like the plastic loungers that you'd expect at like a motel or apartment complex like this. So it worked out really well. And then I wanted to actually have some tables for them to sit at, of course, in our lovely orange and blue coloring. And then I also put in a little area for them to grill out. I think I put a couple of these in too, because I was kind of thinking that, you know, if somebody else is grilling out and you wanted to too, then at least you have the opportunity to do so. But I didn't want to put them up against like the actual apartments I had in the front building. So I ended up putting a second one to the back corner as well. So we had two corners that have grills. And then over here in this little like field, this little grassy knoll area, we have a little soccer patch and we also have a basketball hoop. And I really like how this corner comes out. There unfortunately isn't like a goal or anything for like the soccer ball to be played with. They kind of just like bounce it on their feet or like dribble it. So I did kind of improvise a little bit there. And so there is like the soccer balls and then there's like this little bit of detailing that I did just to kind of like fake the fact that there is something for them to, you know, practice kicking the soccer ball into. And as for the basketball hoop corner, I was just trying to figure out what would be best for the actual like ground so that the basketball would make sense to be bouncing on and to be like actually like playing a game with. So I did also want to have this a little fenced in. I was debating on using the chain link fence over here, but it looked a little silly and then that would be another pack that I'm using. So I was like, you know what? It's The Sims. Hopefully it doesn't bounce out of the zone and smack somebody in the head that's lounging at the pool. In real life, I think that'd be a little bit more scary. But we are finally going into our first apartment here at the bottom. So this is going to be a little tight squeeze. And I wanted it to look like they almost kept the same floor plan. But I guess technically in a motel, the bed would probably more close to that front window. So maybe they shifted it a little bit so that there's actually space for a kitchen and then the living room in the front and then the bedroom in the back. And these two apartments here at the bottom are identical. They are absolutely identical. However, different color schemes. And the way I decided the color schemes to me was fun because I went with the rug. So I kind of, with every apartment, I was like, I like this rug. This rug is going to be the theme of this apartment. Go. And it actually works out really nicely. But this is the one that I had to go, okay, how am I going to fit everything? So this is the one where I actually figured everything out, and then I just kind of, copy and pasted from this apartment into the next one, and then changed all the colors and changed the color scheme. It's actually kind of fun to do it this way, just to have some variation and changes in it. But I also was like, oh yeah, the person who bought this, they're like, we're using the same counters, we're using the same appliances, and maybe they can get like a deal on bulk furniture. So when they're like, yeah, get me like 5 of those couches, they get like a discount for it. In my head, I feel like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Because it's like they know that you're buying this for a apartment complex, or like if you had like a motel, it'd be like for the motel. Maybe some of this furniture, is actually from the motel. I don't know. It's up to you if you guys want to add that as part of the story. But I like it. I like the way that this actually comes together. And I got to use a lot of fun rugs and colors for everything. And then I was like, I don't have no idea what to do with the walls. I was actually kind of stuck on the walls, but I really liked this idea of some really wacky wallpaper because, it's a mid-century modern, and they loved wallpaper and like patterns and things of that nature. So it worked out kind of well to have like these stripes and then like some color. And I even did some paneling in the bedroom. And the bedroom, it's really tight. It is really tight, but it does work. It does function. Your Sims can get into either side of that bed, and it works out really well. And of course, because, my theme has to be on point, we did kind of go with that blue, light blue, and orange theme for this apartment. So it has like some nice coloring there. And of course, there's different browns and everything. It's The Sims. I can't get everything to match perfect, but it works out really nicely. I really liked these side tables for these 2 bedrooms because of the way it almost looks like they're floating, or they were like built into the wall, and then they had like the wall sconce instead of like a lamp, so that it kind of makes it feel a little bit more open. So I thought that were kind of like the perfect side tables for the bed here, especially since they were small, and every freaking side table in The Sims is gigantic. Oh my god, it drives me insane. So now for the curtains, I did do a little trick here where I put, and this could be kind of a detriment because Sims love to put things on shelves. However, the top piece for our curtain, where it would technically like slide across, is all shelving, and then the 2 sides with the curtains that kind of look like they come together to close the window up. I like how that looks. I think it looks really cute, and I feel like that looks a bit more realistic for something like this, especially since they are like the full long blinds for this room. Okay, look, I you might be questioning my color choice here for the walls, but it kind of matched the pillows, and that's what I was going for. It's not so. Is it chartreuse? Is that the color? Now I feel like I have to look up the color. Okay, chartreuse is a little too lime green. But I mean, look, it's kind of like the same idea, that like almost lime green, but a little dull yellow pillow. I was like, yeah, I kind of want to put that on the wall. So I went with a little bit like similar color, but it's not like the same color, or that tone would just like make a person go insane. Okay, so I may have done a little time skip here. You can see on the left side, I figured out all of the furniture and where it would all go in a very toned down room. But I liked that rug, and I was like, yeah, what if we did like a really neutrals room over there on that side? So when we tour it, I'll show you guys what that one ends up looking like. And the one next door is going to be a mirror image of that one. So you'll see how that works. At this point, I decided, you know what, screw it. I probably need to figure out the actual layout for each apartment and area. So that's what I end up doing is I go through here, lay it out with the kitchen counters, and figure out how everything's going to fit in each apartment. And these 2 here are identical again, and they're on top of each other. So these 2 are going to be the same. And I have like the little space for a living area, kitchen, even like a little dining space on the side, and then one bedroom each. So we actually have 4 apartments that have 1 bedroom, 1 bath. The 2 apartments in the front that are mirror images have 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And then the final 2 apartments that actually have 2 stories will have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So a good variety, and then depending on where you want to live, you could make that your own. As you can see, I did kind of screw up the first layout from being the 2 different apartments on 2 separate floors here. I was playing with the idea that all 3 of these would be 2-story apartments, but I end up ditching that idea, and only the 2 on the left side are going to be 2 stories. So this one on the right does actually go back to being just the one apartment on the top and then the one underneath as well. So here I am copying over the layout I decided on and then completely removing it from the right one. But these 2 are, again, going to be mirror images of each other here. So it's kind of fun because I have a couple apartments that are mirror images, and then I have a couple apartments that are identical. So I feel like it works out well that way, because otherwise they'd all be the exact same, especially since this is a motel. Most likely each room is going to be identical. And like the only thing that would probably be different in the motel is potentially, if it has like 2 beds versus the 1, maybe it has like a pull-out couch. I don't know. There's a lot of variation when it comes to hotels too. So hey, maybe they do have like separate rooms for the bedroom at that point. But for these, I wanted to make sure that there was enough variation to make it interesting, but also enough of the sameness to make it a little easier on ourselves, because otherwise it gets like too much. So here I am just kind of finishing up the layouts here. I added a bunch of lights to make it nice and bright and easy to see, and then put in all of the doors. And again, I figured, they're using the same doors. They're using the same, like, almost everything just to make it easier on the person who owns this place too. It is kind of funny because the bottom floor of the 2 multi-story apartments are kind of the same as the right apartments, the up and down. The only difference is this: I didn't really give it that like fancy, here's like the angle into the bathroom. I wanted it to be a little bit different that way, and give different sizes to the rooms. So going back to actually furnishing these apartments, you can see like the fun different color schemes that I chose for this. So for this one, I was trying to mirror the exact thing I did with the more neutral toned apartment, but I was like, what if we have one that's like kind of more bright and open, and then we kind of went with this one and make it kind of warm and darker, and it kind of feels like a bit cozier versus the other apartment next door. So I went with this carpet that had different brown tones and the dark blues and that orange in it. So then we could actually have like the darker couch and kind of like match the different wood tones that we had available to us, because I was kind of struggling at that point to decide, oh my God, how many different wood tones can I go with in one apartment? But I figured with this rug, I could kind of get away with it. It's fine. I can get away with it. We can go with it. We can see how we like it. And I felt like I got it to work, and we just rolled with it from there. So now you get to see a lot of copying and pasting, because I wanted to have, again, the same layout, all like the same furniture placed from one to the other. But we do end up changing everything. Also, by the way, that rug, so cute. I love the variations on this one, and you don't really think about it because the base swatch kind of looks like broken triangles of stone, and I'm like, I don't know if I really want this one. But then if you look at the other swatches on it, there's a lot of different like patterns. So it's not just the one pattern with different colors. It's like, there's different patterns in this one. I think it's really cute. So highly recommend that one. That one's from City Living, by the way. So from here, I am still going, okay, what else do I want? I really loved this rug for this room particularly. So we had like the really fancy one with the blues on it for the other apartment. And then this one, it was a little bit more toned down, but has like a pretty pattern that matches all of like those creams that we have here. So we have all of that going, and then I'm again copying and pasting because my God, it makes life easy for these two bedrooms here. So I figured this is going to be, you know, the main bedroom with the double bed, and we went with a fun pattern here again with the dark tones though, because I wanted to keep that kind of as a theme for this apartment. And then yeah, kind of a kid's room. In my opinion, this would probably be more of a kid's room than like a guest room, just because it is like a single bed. And then we went with the darker tones here too. So maybe like a teenager, maybe a kid, and they just like the darker colors for theirs. Because we did go with like a light color on the other side. I think I went with like grays and pinks, like light pastel-y colors for over there. And I did try to go with a lot darker tones for the walls on this side. I struggled with the walls for some reason. It was like, okay, this is going to be the last thing I do in each one of these apartments because I like the furniture, but then how am I going to match it with the wallpaper? Like, do I want wallpaper? Do I want it to look like stucco? Do I want it to be, you know, paneled? For some reason, that was difficult for me to figure out, but I think we got there in the end. Oh, I do have to say that I really like the little dishwasher that goes on like the half tile of the counter that came with for rent. I really like that one. I feel like it fits a little bit nicer for a lot of these like apartments or like smaller builds, and it looks really nice within the counter itself. So it makes it look like, oh yeah, you have like still some space to store some stuff in that counter, but then you also have a nice dishwasher. But back to the wallpaper and wall colorings that I went with, you can still see I kind of went with lighter tones for the one apartment and then the darker tones with the other. But I went with, of course, a nice gray wall for the bedrooms. And I think I did the same tone for both bedrooms. Well, both apartments and all of the bedrooms, because it kind of just was like, yeah, that actually kind of works. And you know what? Screw it. I like how that looks. We're going to keep the grayish in there. And for the lovely curtains, I went with actual curtains, but I still went with my little shelf that makes it look like you can close the curtains. And I think it looks really nice. Okay, so now on to probably the wackiest apartments, I gotta say, over here. Yeah, these are going to be a lot louder, a lot more like whoosh, like yeah, that's a lot of pattern. That's woohoo, like fun apartments for like I'm thinking a single sim would live in these. And you'll see why. I just feel like, yeah, I come back to my apartment. It's kind of fun. I'm a cool, like fun person because I went with, you know, the animal prints. I don't know why, but for some reason they have to be like a really fun, outgoing person for me to use animal prints. So that's what I did with these two apartments. It's a little bit different than what I would normally do, and I love it. I love getting to go out of the box a little bit, and we were having fun on stream talking about it and like talking about the Sims that we thought would live here. So this top apartment gets to have like the white tiger, and they get like the white and black and a little pop of that like crazy fuchsia pink in different places. And then the downstairs apartment that is the identical, the clone of the top one, gets to be a orange tiger, like the classic tiger print. Yeah. So they get to have some really fun apartments on this side, a little bit louder, but it still has that mid-century furniture and look and feel. And I think it's really fun because then we got to use the black couch over here, and we got to have like a fun, like painted looking rug on this side. And you can see I am still basing all of my color schemes and most of the apartment on the rug. And I don't know why. I just kept getting inspired by the rug for each one of these, and it just was so fun and I loved it. So still being the one bedroom, one bathroom, like the ones in the front, these are a little bit bigger. They have a bigger footprint. So they have a larger kitchen area that's more of the galley kitchen, and then they actually have 4 seats around a table on the left for a dining space instead of just the 2. So this is actually a larger apartment, even though it still is the one bedroom, one bath. And I really loved how this came out. It's dark, but it doesn't feel like closed in and small. It just feels kind of nice and cozy. So I liked it. I had to go with like that fun like mauve-y purple for the walls here. So for these 2-story apartments. I was copying over some of the furniture. I wasn't sure what color schemes I was going to end up doing with these yet. So I was like, well, if I put some of the furniture down, we'll have to look at the carpets, the rugs, and say, okay, this is the one that I feel a bit more inspired by. And now for this one, the living space ends up being upstairs. I was going to do like the identical living space from the apartment next door, but I said, you know what? Considering they have a lot more space in their apartments, why don't we make that a full dining space? And then upstairs in that extra room, that can be like a little living space or a little like family room. And I like how that turned out, especially since that room is going to have a door coming in from the top floor. So it has like that extra door that they can get into the apartment with. I was like, yeah, that I feel like that would be okay. They left those doors in. It actually can be usable that way. So we kept that more of a neutral room instead of like an extra bedroom that has a door on it. I was like, maybe that could be a bedroom or like an office, but I do like that we went with the living space upstairs. I did end up using different single beds here than I did in the other apartments to again kind of give a bit more variety and a bit more pattern variety too, because that other bed I used had a lot of just like color, but not a lot of like pattern to it. So I thought it would be kind of nice to add a bit of variety with this bed, since it does have at least some patterned variation to it. And then for the rest of the furniture, I wanted to make sure that they each had a dresser in all of the bedrooms. And then these rooms also got to have a desk where obviously they could have a computer, they could do their homework there, they could have a little diary, whatever you want to do, you can have them have at those desks. But as you can see, the one thing I'm not doing is adding like a bunch of toys or like stuffed animals or things of that nature. I kind of figured keep these a little bit more generic, a little bit more, you get the furniture that comes in this house the way it is, and then you can add the personality of the sim or add in some toys for if there are kids that are going to be living here. It was kind of like I didn't want to put it into a box and say, this is the kind of sim that has to live in this room. So it does give a bit more variety. You could technically be like, okay, we have the main sim who lives downstairs and they rent out the other 2 rooms, or they have roommates and so they all each have this room and they're all adults, So I didn't want to make it, oh, these have to be kids' rooms. But they are a little bit sweeter. They are a little bit nicer. They have like that cute wallpaper on them. So it kind of represents a children's room, but it doesn't have to be, which I think is okay. For this color scheme, I haven't gotten to use the lime green couch yet, and I really wanted to. So I went with the lime green couch, and then we added a nice bookshelf to the corner here, and then I went with paneling. I don't know why, but this is the one where I was like, but paneling to me makes a lot of sense for these rooms. And I was like, yeah, I think that's going to be the wall. We kind of have to go with that mid-century, just everything is paneling instead of having a feature wall of paneling. So this theme, I guess, on the far end apartment is going to be green and grays, and I love it. It just fits so well. Could I have gone a little crazier? Of course I could have gone crazier with all of these things, but I liked just basing it solely on that lovely rug and bringing out all of those tones in the rooms. And then you'll probably see me flip between a lot of the different apartments here because I was like, oh, we do need to have like a little mat to go into each apartment and all of that kind of stuff. All those little details, you're probably going to see me flop around a bit too. So I'm copying and pasting, of course, to do the mirror image in the middle apartment and then adding some details into each apartment at the end. And I was like, oh, I have to use, and I know this probably takes some people out. I've heard that people are like, I don't like it when they add plumb bobs and they add like things that are like Sims related into like paintings and stuff, but no, I love it. So I put plumb bob paintings a few of these apartments, just so you know. So we finish off our lime green apartment with all of the pretty green accents with the gray wood tones. And then for the main bedroom is actually kind of interesting because they didn't have like a green. So I went with more of a pale yellow in that bedroom. And I thought it actually came out kind of nice. Again, it's that weird like pale yellow wallpaper, which is kind of like bleh. But at the same time, it works for this build and I really liked it. And then for our final apartment, we do end up going with the color scheme of that bright blue. Like it's like a light colored blue, but it's very bright and vibrant. And the rug that inspired me for that one was that bright blue with the dark reds. And I was like, ah, perfect. So that's the last one that we used in that apartment and got it all put together. So you can see me, I'm starting to pick out the final rug here. I did see this one with like the reds and the light greens, and I was like, I almost changed the other one, but I was like, nah, it's okay. I like this one. And you can see on this one with like the sharp geometric shapes and like those reds and that bright blue. I thought it was like a perfect color scheme. I love it. I think it's fun. And then I do change up the look of the bedrooms just slightly for the single bed bedrooms with like a nice light blue and a pink. But the main bedroom, I luckily did actually have that like light, bright blue. I feel like light and bright don't really go fully together, but you know what I mean. It's like a lighter blue, but it's very bright and it just like sticks out so well. But I was able to keep that in the main bedroom and keep all of the fun colors here. I almost went with like a red for some of the stuff downstairs, but I think that rug kind of is the only piece that pops with the red color. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know where else I could really shove it in. So finally, here I go putting in a couple of paintings, my lovely plumb bob painting in a few of the places. And that's the end of it. So here we are in Del Sol Valley, and you can see right over here on the left inside of Mirage Park, I put it over here at Vacuous Green. We have, it actually shows the price for each rental. So by the way, if you didn't guess now, because I'm about to show you how much this place is costing us as a landlord. But for the tenants, you can see the different prices per unit. So it ranges from 70 simoleons for the cheapest apartment, and then the most expensive apartment shows for 146 simoleons a day. I kind of love that there's a bit of a variety. It's kind of nice. So if I actually click on it here, you can see each unit how much they're going to be worth per day. So even like these front ones, I think are the ones that weren't showing. That's going to be 56 per day. So it's even cheaper than we were thinking before. We have these two being the cheapest apartments, the smallest apartments, 56 simoleons per day. So let's hop in and check out our little Groove Haven. I let chat decide the name, and I kind of love it. Groove Haven. And I think it actually kind of works with the name, right? I love how it turned out. I love the shape, the coloring, even like just having the very simple like trees and bushes around it makes a lot of sense. I like it with the rest of the world too. I feel like it fits. You can see apartments in the background, and so this one kind of fits on this really large lot here. And before I start our little tour here, the full price of the entire lot is 292,580 simoleons. So it's not horrible, right? For some reason, I kept expecting it to be a lot more expensive, but we're under 300,000 simoleons. So I'm a little proud of us there. I'm going to start us off on this left side, going into the communal space here. You can see as we come in, there's a nice spot for you to use the computer. There's a bathroom beyond this door. So if I come in here, nice, just simple bathroom, easy. Over on this side of the room, we have the little area to sit, have some coffee, chat with your neighbors. Then through this door here, we have the nice little laundry room area where you can come down, do your laundry. You can look out the window at the lovely back area. And then through here, we have the gym. Simple, but you know what? Useful. Very, very useful. If we stay on the bottom floor here, we can go into our first apartment, which has a nice little kitchen on the side, small dining space and living space, nice open concept. We have our bathroom in here, and then we have the bedroom. Small, useful, cute. I like it. I love it. It's twin through these doors, as you can see, same kitchen, but different colors and a different scheme for this room here. We have the bathroom, and then we have same bedroom idea, but again, different colors. Going up this stairwell instead of the one on the side, you can also see that we did put some bins inside of the stairwell. We come up to the next apartments, and I think we can stay in the first building to start off. We have the wider apartments here. We have the more cozy tones on this one. Nicer, bigger kitchen with an island space. Very open concept. Bathroom for this door. Very simple bathrooms. I feel like all the bathrooms are kind of the same. Second bedroom here. And the main bedroom through here, which actually does have a balcony on it. There is a balcony. There's 2 balconies for each one of these larger apartments on this top floor. So that's kind of fun. So this one's a lot brighter with some neutral tones going on. Same kitchen, same idea. But the bedrooms are a bit brighter, have a different color scheme. Going around now to the other building, we start off with a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment here with some nice darker tones. And going through the little hallway, we have a lovely bedroom for a very fun sim. Next, we're going to go right back down these lovely stairs. We went right back down the stairwell to get to the other apartment. That is I guess the clone. We go to the same image here, but with different color scheme, a bit brighter of a couch, but still a fun person with their lovely tiger-themed rug. Next door, open to the lovely pool area, we have the 2-story apartments. First up, we have a bright blue apartment here, complete with full dining room, kitchen, and a lovely bedroom downstairs. Almost like a little private area with their own bathroom. Then we go up the stairs to get to 2 more bedrooms and a bathroom for them to share. First bedroom has the balcony and a nice little pink theme. Second bedroom has a more blue theme. And next to them, they have the little living space where you can come sit, watch TV, and relax, read a book. And going out this door, we get to the balcony once again with a lovely view of our outdoor space. But next door, if we go into this one, we see, oh, it's the same one, mirrored imaged in green. So here's our lovely image here. We go through here, we can get to the first bedroom, which is also like a nice green and gray tone. And then through this bedroom, we have blue. We go back downstairs. And we have the light green themed room here. And once again, a bathroom and main bedroom with a much yellower theme for in here. Coming outside, we have the lovely community space, complete with places to sit and dine with a grill. You can go jumping into the pool, enjoy the sun, or if you're a bit more sporty, enjoy a basketball court and little soccer area. So that does complete the tour of Groove Haven, our motel to rental apartment. And I really love how it looks. I think it's so cute. And if you did enjoy it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and comment down below. The build is already up on the gallery, so enjoy it and let me know what you think. But for now, keep crafting, keep gaming, stay lazy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.